Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumaira Kamal. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has announced to hold general elections on 15th July next year. Third anniversary of Army Public School Peshawar tragedy is being observed today with a renewed pledge to eradicate the menace of terrorism with full force. The Chief Justice says the judiciary is independent and verdicts are being given in accordance with the law and the Constitution. Foreign Minister has urged the international community not to remain silent on brutal activities of Indian authorities to suppress the legitimate struggle of the Kashmiri people. The United States has announced support for UN-backed talks between the Syrian government and the opposition. Pakistan will face India in the final of Second Asian Men's Netball Championship in Kuala Lumpur tomorrow. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi has said that general elections will be held in the country on 15th July next year. Addressing a public meeting in Kohat this evening, he said the PMLN will win the elections on the basis of its performance. Referring to the terrorist attack on Army Public School Peshawar, the Prime Minister said that the security forces launched operation against the terrorists after the tragic incident and restored peace in the country. He said the process of introducing reforms in FATA was initiated by the PMLN government and it will complete the same. He said various development projects have been initiated in tribal areas to create job opportunities and promote education. Earlier, the Prime Minister inaugurated the dualization of Kohat Sarai Gambila and Kohat Pindighape roads, which will be completed at a cost of 32 billion rupees. Earlier, addressing a function held in connection with the foundation laying a ceremony of Women Campus of Kohat University of Science and Technology in Kohat this afternoon, the Prime Minister said the government is paying full attention to the promotion of higher education in the country. He said we can defeat extremism and terrorism by educating our youth. The Prime Minister said education has been delegated to provinces after the passage of 18th Constitutional Amendment. Despite this, the federal government is extending all-out efforts to federating units for enhancing educational facilities. The Women Campus of Kohat University of Science and Technology will be completed at a cost of about 1 billion rupees in 3 years. Initially, classes in 3 disciplines, including zoology, computer science, and English, have been started in a local girls' college. Earlier, the Prime Minister also performed groundbreaking of dualization of 128 kilometers Sarai Gambila Kohat Road and 73 kilometers Pindighape Kohat Road in Kohat. The third anniversary of the tragic terrorist attack on Army Public School in Peshawar is being observed today. On this day in 2014, 6 terrorists stormed the school and martyred 147 students and teachers. The security forces promptly responded to the attack and killed all the terrorists. Events are being organized across the country to mark the day. In a statement, Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb said the sacrifices of the innocent martyrs of Army Public School Peshawar will always be remembered. She said the country's security forces have rendered matchless sacrifices to save the country from terrorism. The minister said these sacrifices will not go waste and the whole nation stands united against terrorism. Remembering martyrs of APS Peshawar, Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa said great sacrifices of our innocent and beloved children and their brave families remain unforgettable. According to a tweet of DG ISPR, the Army Chief said it symbolizes our resolve in love of our motherland. He said their sacrifice has not gone in vain and we owe this improving peace to them. Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Mia Saqib Nisar says provision of justice to litigants is the prime responsibility of the judges. Addressing a seminar in Lahore today, he said the judiciary is independent and verdicts are being given in accordance with the law and the Constitution. The Chief Justice said the delay in provision of justice is a major challenge for the judiciary. He advised the lawyers to play their active role in proving justice to the victims. A trade show of Pakistani products was organized in Montreal, Canada, to give boost to Pakistani exports to Canada. 32 companies representing goods and services exhibited their products, including textiles, carpets, surgical instruments, handicrafts, sporting goods, leather, jewelry, food, and basmati rice at the show. This is Radio Pakistan. Foreign Minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif has strongly condemned the inhuman tactics, including torture, arbitrary arrests, and extrajudicial killings by the Indian occupation forces to suppress the legitimate Kashmiri struggle for the right to self-determination. In a statement issued in Islamabad today, he said India again violated rights of Kashmiris to assembly and protest by arresting leaders and workers to prevent them from the joining Anantnag Chalo rally yesterday. The minister said another abhorrent element of Indian strategy has been to implicate Kashmiri leaders in false cases and harass them by their arrests, incarceration, and summoning them to courts time and again. He said the international community must not remain silent over the outrageous violations of due process of law by Indian government in cases of Kashmiri leaders resisting illegal occupation of Indian forces. In occupied Kashmir, the joint resistance leadership comprising Sayyid Ali Gilani, Mirwais Umar Farooq and Mohammad Yasin Malik has strongly condemned the puppet authorities for resorting the use of unbridled force to prevent a march towards Islamabad town where a peaceful rally was to be held. The resistance leaders in a joint statement in Srinagar said that the rally, which was to be held at Lal Chowk in Islamabad yesterday, was aimed at expressing solidarity with the people of South Kashmir who have been facing the worst kind of Indian terrorism for the past few months. The United Nations has urged all parties to work seriously towards political resolution of conflict in Syria. U.S. State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert, in a statement in Washington, said the United States supports the UN Special Envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, call for the Syrian government supporters to participate fully in tangible negotiations with the opposition in Geneva. Earlier, the 8th round of formal intra-Syrian peace talks in Geneva concluded without any results. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees has expressed concern over deteriorating environment in which Rohingya refugees are living in Bangladesh. The agency's spokesperson Babar Baloch told regular press briefing in Geneva that refugees face a multitude of protection risks. Britain and China have pledged to cooperate in clean energy research and promote global use of Beijing's currency as United Kingdom prepares to leave the European Union. The consensus was announced by Britain's finance minister and a senior Chinese economic official in Beijing. British leaders are looking to China for trade and investment as they try to fashion a new global role and offset reduced access to the other 27 nations of the European Common Market. The leader of the Chinese delegation, Ma Kai, said both sides agreed to pursue a new investment agreement and cooperate in energy research and to promote international use of China's yuan. Pakistan will face arch-rival India in the final of second Asian Men's Netball Championship in Kuala Lumpur tomorrow. Pakistan qualified for the final after defeating Singapore by 75-63 during the semi-final today. Similarly, India qualified after defeating host team Malaysia by 47-44. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. Very cold weather conditions are likely to prevail in Balochistan and northern parts of the country. Frost is expected at isolated places in upper and central Punjab during night and morning. Foggy conditions are likely over plain areas of Punjab and upper Sindh during morning hours. To end the news again, here are the headlines. To hold general election on 15th July next year. Third anniversary of Army Public School Peshawar tragedy is being observed today with a renewed pledge to eradicate the menace of terrorism with full force. The Chief Justice says the judiciary is independent and verdicts are being given in accordance with the law and the Constitution. Foreign Minister has urged the international community not to remain silent on brutal activities of Indian authorities to suppress the legitimate struggle of the Kashmiri people. The United States has announced support for UN-backed talks between the Syrian government and the opposition. Pakistan will face India in the final of second Asian Men's Netball Championship in Kuala Lumpur tomorrow. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk. Our video streaming on bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio.